This is a video on how to break down the OMC AMT backup chambered in 380. I know there's a video out there that exists on how to break down the 45 version of this gun, but this is the 380 and they are different, so I wanted to make this video to show everybody how to break it down if you don't know how. So first thing, we want to safety check it, make sure that it's unloaded, nothing in the magazine here, nothing in the chamber or barrel, so it's ready to be taken down. Some household items that you need to break this thing down: a Q-tip broken in half so we can use it as a punch, a quarter, I'll explain that in a second, and a dowel rod or some sort of a device that we're going to use to punch out the bolt, as long as it'll fit up in the magazine well here, and want to make sure it's broad enough to get a good area that it'll be hitting the bolt to punch it out, and big enough that it's not going to do any damage to any of the internal components or anything. So the first thing is, there's a pin located near the rear of the slide at the top. We need to punch that out, so take your Q-tip or whatever punch you'll be using, and that'll just punch out the back. Mine just fell out the back there. There's that pin. So you can see it came right out of that hole right there. That's the first thing. Secondly, we need to lock the slide back. Since this firearm doesn't have a manual or a slide stop, we'll need to do that manually. So if you get a good grip on it, and then we'll take our quarter and put it right up in there so that that locks the slide back for us. The next thing is to take your dowel or whatever larger punch you have, and you're going to put it up in the magazine well, and we're just trying to tap this bolt out right here. So you can give it a few hits and start to loosen it up. So you can see that it's starting to come out a little bit here. If you can tell there, it's raised up, so it's starting to come out. Then you'll take the quarter out, because what's happening is you're only able to hit the front when it's locked back like that. So now that the slide is forward, you can hit the whole thing and try to loosen it out. So unfortunately you can't see this right now, but oop. And that last one was obviously good enough because it sent it flying. But here's the bolt. You can see there's the holes where our pin was through. So that's that piece. Now that that's off, I believe you need to dry fire the weapon so that it'll come off. So once you do that, you can see how it is right now. It should pretty easily just lift up and off the slide well. So then you have your slide, your guide rod and spring, and the barrel is actually fixed to the frame on this particular firearm, so you won't be removing that. Some cleaning tips. This thing gets pretty dirty, so I had to clean the magazine well out pretty well, as well as underneath the barrel where the guide rod and spring assembly is. That was pretty dirty. I needed to clean it. When you're trying to clean the barrel, put back the hammer. That'll give you a better angle to get in there to clean the barrel. So putting it back together, much the same way, and of course when you clean it, that comes apart too. So put your guide rod and spring back in, you can find other videos on how to just generally clean a gun, so we'll leave that up to those videos. I just wanted to show you how to break this thing down. Align your spring with the bottom, spring and guide rod with the bottom hole. The slide should pretty easily go back on. From there, you want to pull back on the slide a little bit in order to get this bolt back in. The back of the firing pin, I'm not sure the actual technical name for it, but it does stick out a little bit. I don't know if you can tell on there right now. So you will kind of have to push that in as you're starting to put the bolt back in. Otherwise it's not gonna, you're gonna sit here and try and beat this thing in and it's not gonna go anywhere because that's protruding and it's hitting the slide, not allowing it to go in. So once you've got that in, you can give it a few with your hand if you have to, a rubber hammer, something like that. But that is pretty much back in there pretty well. As you can see, it needs to be flush in there. And also, the other way of finding out is if your holes in your bolt match up with the holes in the slide, which is the last part. In order to put it back together, you need to have those holes aligned, and you need to put back in your pin. You can put it in mostly with your hand, and then use, once again, your Q-tip to punch it in the rest of the way. And then just make sure that the slide works, it's not falling apart on you or anything. And that's how you take down and reassemble the AMT backup in 380. Thank you.